left. And so, like I said, I'm not an expert. I mean, take for example the beautiful oak tree on Wakefield Road that stands, the massive one that stands in somebody's garden, comes across the road, or when the branch came off Mike Galvin's beech tree. And if we took down all the trees, all the branches of all the trees that might fall and hurt somebody, So I'm reluctant to form a judgment because I'm not an expert, basically. And like I say, if we say, okay, we understand this, then what do we do about all the other trees in the village? The next one where somebody comes along and says, this is going to be dangerous. So I'd rather leave the judgment to Wakefield Council tree officers, what I'm saying.
I think that's the purpose of this, is to whether we lodge any complaints against this. And I think our accepted kind of protocol is that if any trees are dead, dangerous or diseased, then it's okay.
Certainly reading the tree survey thing, it says combination of poor form and the potential presence of dysfunctional wood at the historic ruin site and alters biochemical dynamics increases susceptibility to further failures for wood. For another one, the tree increased likelihood of branch failure in its current form. So that's something that doesn't want to talk about. So I certainly don't think we should put in any objection. I kind of always feel with the same sure we should support it because they're really distressed about it, basically. That he's just constantly conscious that he might fall again, and he doesn't want the risk to anybody else.
So if I just come to maybe our principle should be then that if we want to see a professional judgment on the trees, there is a professional judgment on this one. I personally, I won't vote to support it, but I won't vote to object to it either.
I think there's a difference between, if we were looking at a tree that was growing on our property, obviously that's a different matter. These are all growing in people's gardens. And if they presented that evidence, and you've seen the evidence, and other people have seen evidence, all we can do is just lodge that as we've received that information, but we're not making an objection unless somebody wants to put a proposal that we object to it. Is that okay? With that?
He just wants to go to sleep at night. The trees look fundamentally.
I mean, in light of what happened with Matt Galvin's tree,
just out of checks I might have. When I spoke to the resident, I had said that the parish council to support it noted and to don't put a comment of objection in. So he is aware that if we put noted, that's not an objection or a negative steer on it, and that it would go then to Wakefield Council for it to be reviewed. And I did say I would call him tomorrow and let him know what council decides. So I don't think that helps the conversation.
Is that okay? That's okay, thank you very much. Okay, next item is to note the current Parish Council standing orders to remain as standing due to the ongoing review of the newly received NALC standing orders. This item will be available to Council for further review in line with the next scheduled meeting on Monday the 8th of September 25. So that's just a note that.
Chair, do you want to very quickly say something? Is that okay?
Yeah.
The reason why it's gone on now a couple of months is because what I've noticed is our current standing orders, we have elements where we customise them over the years. So it's really important that actually I sit and I do a side-by-side analysis as to what's changed and what our customised roles are, and that council can see it side-by-side. That is quite a lengthy task, and we've had other priorities come up this month. So it's not that I've just left it, we've got good standing orders there that are fit for purpose that we can continue in our meetings, and I've just prioritised them to bring that to September's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item is item 45 on the agenda to receive a grant application of £500 to support the running of the Ackworth Fest 2025 event, and this is item 25 in your pack, 45 in your pack, and it's an application from Karen Young, who's chair of the Parish committee. So we've all had a look at that. Any comments?
I'll be pleased to support it.
Okay. So a proposal that we supported from Amanda, and a second for that, Sharon. All those in favour? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favour. Against? Abstentions? 2 abstentions. So 46. So that's passed. Excuse me. 46 is to receive an update of expressions of interest received regarding the neighbourhood plan and to decide a course of action. Right, we asked the last meeting before we asked the clerk to put out the information about the neighbourhood plan, which we put on our social media posts and invited people in the community to contribute or to get in touch to if we've done that. So, Andy, you proposed a meeting, didn't you?
Yes.
The original sort of thing, so do you want to take it?
Well, I haven't actually got the details of the expressions of interest. I think we had a chat this week.
Yeah, I've got them here, obviously I won't read them out in public, but I think I've got 9 in one.
Yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's not changed, still 9.
Yeah, I didn't really see it. I think it's disappointing. But I would say it's been disappointing that we only got more, but with only 9, I don't think realistically it's something we could take on. I think we need more people than that, unfortunately, to make it work. It needs I think it needs a bigger group of people to start with to get it going. You might have 9 people that get really actively involved. But if you only start off with 9, I don't think you have enough money to go forward. I'm not sure quite what that means the course of action should be. I hate to stop it, but maybe it's something we just need to come back to at some point in the future.
So on the initial one, several years ago, I think 168 letters were sent out in the village, and I was the only one who replied to it. And that was with regard to the boundaries of the village. I could only say that I couldn't disagree with it, I couldn't agree with it, because I think they're a plan that would give me an idea of what it was. I think there were 7 cities heritage, National Farmers Union, etc. Might send in, but when the meeting came along, the hall was full, wasn't it? Well, so I think although this is, I think there's a lot of people I haven't seen the adverts for it.
Yeah.
Maybe because they took the trouble to do things last time and nothing happened. You don't like the time wasting. So probably it just needs a little bit more advertising. And after all, it was something that the government required all councils to offer to villages.
Sure.
Is the man with all the council can support it, or is council not support it, as council not to support it?
Are you asking me if there's any councillors' names on this list? It was a resident expression of interest.
So has anybody, sorry, Sharon?
I mean, that could be the norm, couldn't it? You know, for all the councils, they could be in a similar position of not having a lot of people expressing interest to do it. So, if that's the case, then, of all the councils saying you're not going to write, do you know what I mean? I just think it's a shame if 9, I know it's only 9 people, but it's better than no people. And whether it would be worth looking at it. And you never know, 9 really good people might be better than 200 who are absolutely rubbish. So I'm saying not to diss it because I think we've got to take whatever we have really, and that's a really good way for us of getting in there, getting a tone there to try and generate some community working. I don't know, that's my opinion.
The only thing on that, Chair, it was just to say, I obviously wasn't part of previously when it was explored. We can't use data because of GDPR rules now in the same way, so I wouldn't be able to send letters out to any addresses that I hold to invite them. It has to be done in the form of advertising, and this poster, it's been around all of our buildings, all around the village commercial buildings, the doctor's surgeries, it's been on Facebook, it's been on our website. So if there was more advertising than we feel is required, I would need an instruction as to how I would be advertising it, because in my personal opinion, from what resources I've got available to me, that are free resources, I've explored all of them, and it's been out for a period of time.
I guess the only other thing would be the newsletter.
I was just wondering if I can through each to ask Andy what you had in mind we would do.
Well, I think the first thing would be a meeting of people that express an interest to explore, because I think the resolution was to explore the possibility of creating a neighbourhood plan. So it was to get people, get the expressions of interest, get people together, have a meeting, in one of the rooms or whatever, to go through what would be involved and see then how much people are really interested in doing it.
Because I don't know whether you've looked at it, Andy, but there's a lot of regulation.
Oh yeah, I did go through all of it. I went through all of it.
Okay, that's fine, because it's a lot of regulation, a lot of work. And so I think, if we as councillors need to be aware of two things. It would be unfortunate if we raised expectations of people, members of the public, but then for one reason, resource or whatever, we weren't able to meet. And so I think it would be helpful, not now, but maybe to come back to it at another time, for us to know as councillors what the commitment would be if we agreed to go ahead with inviting people to a meeting. Because what we don't want to do is invite people to a meeting and then say, well, we don't have the resources to do it.
The council involvement is fairly minimal from the way everything I've read about it is, because it is a community. It's not a council-led project at all. It's a community-led project. But the council can do the admin, the liaison orders between that group and the Wakefield Council.
Could I sort of make a suggestion that we come back to this maybe in a couple of months or something like that? You can collect more information and maybe, I mean, it is disappointing only 9 people. But, it's pointless plugging a dead horse if nobody is interested. Like Sharon said, also we might be now really keen people to move this forward. So maybe if we have more information, then we were clear about what our role as a parish council would be in the formation of this, because we are time and resource limited. We don't want to be.
Can we get back to the work if we say we're still working?
Which what's proposed, so it's been
Well, my proposal would be that we suspend this for a couple of months and then maybe bring it forward to the September,
October.
October.
Say is just that we keep in contact with those 9 people, so they don't think it's gone away.
It's fine on the upsets about the council. Can I just check about the advertising? I was still chair on that part of the proposal to keep the adverts going.
I think so.
When's the next newsletter?
It wouldn't go out until a couple of months' time, so.
I was just wondering if maybe if we can put something in the newsletter as well. Theoretically it goes to everybody's house and then that becomes
So the proposal is that we keep running the advertisement in our social media, and we put that advertisement again into the into the next newsletter. So I'll propose that under the chair. I've got a second for that. Andy, all those in favour of that action? That's it, we're all clear on that. Thank you. Thank you. Right, so the next one is 47, to receive an update relating to the Wakefield Road crossing and progression explored with the Ombudsman, the signposts of our Wakefield District Council, and decide a course of action. Right, so we have a letter. Do you want to deal with this or do you want me to?
It's up to you, Chair, I'm not fussed. Everything that I know is in that pack and that letter that Council have had.
Right. We wrote to Wakefield Council, Gemma wrote to Wakefield Council as instructor, and they signposted us to the Ombudsman erroneously because we as a parish council cannot take anything to the, we're a public body, we can't take anything to the Ombudsman, so that has to come from residents. So my proposal would be, or my suggestion would be, if somebody else wants to propose it, that what we write to Wakefield Council and say we've got the wrong information, and if people want to take it forward to write to the Ombudsman, then we may actually to the residents who are objecting to the crossing as it is, they take that to the Ombudsman. Sure.
I mentioned this to Mr. White, it's a huge name, but I'm quite happy with Andy Shirt to put a letter into Ombudsman or something like that.
As residents.
As residents,
yeah.
if that's acceptable.
Well, that's your prerogative, yeah.
Yeah.
We
As long as it's a resident, yeah.
as long as it's a resident.
We discussed that we could support Mr. Lloyd in terms, because obviously for obvious reasons Mr. Lloyd can't do it.
This crossing, he has to say, he's having a massive effect on the mental health county across the road. Residents standing is.
Okay. So, Shadow,
I'm great chief Andy and Sean are going to do that, and I still think this needs a response to Wakefield to say this isn't the right information and please can you respond to this in an appropriate way. Still needs a response.
So you're proposing that we require rights to Wakefield Council to say this, the values would be wrong to sign posts?
Yeah.
I'll second that. Can I have a vote on that? That's everybody. Yeah. Well, that's one instruction.
Chair, I would like a place, which is actually 2 years ago, so I will speak to both residents as the clerk to say that was the response.
Right.
Obviously, I appreciate that resident will already know because you've spoken to them, but I would
So it's
also
two.
let the other resident know that
If that's,
it's
yeah.
a residential thing from the Ombudsman's point of view, so that they have the opportunity as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course.
Can you say, Mr. Rice has anything for him to put on himself?
So that's that. Excuse me. Associated with certain updates on the letter sent to Wakefield Council regarding the request to receive the most recent update on a proposed crossing for Doncaster Road and decide a course of action. And are you okay to?
If that's okay, Chair, because since the pack was sent, I have had further communication with Wakefield, so as I know we've got an audience member that this one's close to, I just want to get my books in a row. So at the point on Wednesday when the packs were sent out to council, and I spoke to the resident involved, which we all know obviously is Fred that I'm referring to, I hadn't actually had a response after chasing it from the set time period they give me, and I'd escalated it through as well, and I'd escalated it through to district councillors. And I also let Fred know where I was at with it out of respect for being the resident that's reported it. Since Wednesday, I did receive an email on Thursday. Now, if anyone's ever logged either as a resident or a councillor, if anyone's had any interaction with Wakefield Council's help desk and the reference numbers that you're given, you will know how confusing they can be, because what they basically do, you put your login and they just give you this coded number, and it doesn't really state what it is that you've logged it about. And as you can imagine as clerk, we log several of these residents throughout the day, things that are coming in. They very kindly replied back to me on Thursday to say that they'd changed the case number and not told me about it. So they said to me, this is not the case number anymore, this is now the case number. And the update that I was given, it says, we apologise that you did not receive a response to your inquiry. We have not yet made a decision on this site. We are still gathering together the information to make a case, and there is certainly nothing on the programme at this point. And that is the response to the letter. So again, just for the benefit of everybody, the letter that I sent basically asked for what is the current stance, and it referred to our knowledge that a petition had been lodged back in 2022. So obviously there's no comment there whatsoever about a petition being lodged. That is the extent of the update that I received.
Okay,
And then can I propose in relation to that we do spot requested and requested local appeals at a site meeting with Councillor Rowley, representative from the Parish Council and
It's absolutely
residents.
It's absolutely ridiculous. 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and they can't even answer to a petition.
Yeah.
so that's a proposal.
I second that we.
And it's that second about this, both by and second as well. We got the proposal.
It's literally to request a site
Request a
meeting
site
with
ASAP.
Yeah.
and when we say representative of the Parish Council, we're on about station.
Somebody from Road Safety.
Road Safety Committee,
Yeah.
Road safety.
If nobody is brought to.
So that's open to any council.
So all six.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's a site meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's any council. So can I have a show of hands on that one? That's everybody.
Can I just suggest that Mr. Dallas is invited to that site?
Sorry?
Can we suggest Mr. Dallas is invited, not
It would be the process, Chair. We have to do it first through the bodies, which are, sorry Fred, but that is the rules around it, is that it would have to be the Parish Council and Wakefield Council to start with.
Yeah. So that's